series, right?
It was a 7-3 on Villa and then a 7-0 on Oregon. So what can we learn from it? Not entirely certain. Things already starting off quite spicy now as we go into map number 1, ladies and gentlemen, with the very first ban being a Finka ban. This is a direct target towards Grixer of all players. It says favorite and preferred operator here, and Finka as well sees a lot of play on Villa. She's got a set of grenades, she's got a Gon 6 for clearing out some utility, some shields, any type of bulletproof gadget that you might run across. Very strong operator on top of the Adrenal Surge, which can give your team a little bit of a boost and permanent increase in HP while also picking you up if you're DBNO.
Same story for the Valkyrie and the Goyo. Both are very, very strong operators. The shields on the defense will really fortify positions and make it harder for attackers to work their way through the map. And again, same story for Valkyrie, denying information so that attackers can play more freely, and so defenders, they have to play more blindly, of course, unless you go into that Yokai, the Echo, etc. We might see some bulletproof gadgets from the side of the defenders. Those new bulletproof cams themselves have been buffed right before Invitationals. They can now shoot out an EMP, if you will, just like Thatcher, that will stop a drone dead in its tracks. You can actually turn around with the camera, granting more FOV. So quite a nice change. And you mentioned Grixer, the Finka target ban. He's plus 46, as fast and mentioned on the desk. Second right now in KD, second in overall rating, and all eyes are really on him when it comes to the sheer killing potential off the side of Soniqs. But for the interest sake, we're actually looking at Yeti. He was a player that found so many opening kills. He's plus 11 right now, I believe. And he has not just like a lot of engagements, but he also has a very high success rate in those early kill engagements as well. So 2 star players, one could argue, from Soniqs. Elevate, they have a different story on the opening kills. They got Napiu and Onigiri, and they get into a ton of fights, but they don't win them as often as Soniqs do. So I do think that the name of the game right now, if you're Elevate, is to shut down the early opening kill success from Soniqs, not deliver them a ton of early freebies. Then of course, if you can counter the heavy objective play that we see so often from them. Super, he loves to go for the plant. He loves to play that heavy objective style gameplay, and in some of their games, it's actually a problem for them because when their opponents, they counterplay it, Soniqs are left with not really any other approach to the game, and that's where they kind of fall short. Elevate, aggression, you gotta show it.
AVG, the very first bomb site now with round 1 underway, 20 seconds off of the clock. Soniqs adapting to that no Finka as Elevate banned it out, and this is a quite heavy target ban towards a lot of teams that are present at this tournament. LMGs have taken over a lot of these attacking metas, and Finka really is a big part of why. It's much easier to control the 100 plus bullets of a very recoil heavy LMG when the Adrenal Surge is on in. Grixer off of the Finka because she's not available. Instead, no Zofia, that's Kansan's role. Grixer will play on the Twitch. Even though it is an AVG defense, Nick, the main focus for Elevate right now offsite is over on Trophy Statuary. They're going to hold down that part of the map, at least for the first minute. You talk about the soft time. Well, that's exactly what just happened. Soft limit, Elevate realize after 30 seconds of playing over there, that's enough. 1 minute has been burned off the clock, and Elevate have abandoned that part of the map and headed back towards Aviator in games.
Yeah, that's often like, I feel like when Elevate's first line of defense falls, that's that triple on Master, and that was breached open by Super. Only a single Selma charge, meaning he has 2 more left to go on that vault wall once they get to the bomb site. But now Soniqs will have to now push on through, but Nay, looking to get aggressive Rexen. He just joined this area, not sure if they heard him. Kansan, he does not seem to realize, and now Nay, if you play your cards correctly, my friend, you can get 1 or 2 kills, but so far, oh no, Discipline just takes the 1 freebie, gets a second as well. Beautiful opening, but traded back by Kansan. That's all right. Damage control has been enabled, but it's not really enough. You still lose 2 players.
And that's one of your 2 hard breachers off the board. It looked like some smoke was being done, or smoke damage was being done to Super now, losing 1/3 of his HP. Next engagement is the Jaeger of DCH playing inside a study. I don't know if whereabouts of Grixer on the window was known. Onigiri's next up. He knows that there's someone out there, and he has a perfect vantage point to do a ton of damage. Honestly, Soniqs just not realizing where these players are. Onigiri still stranded inside of study, but I say stranded because once again that Watchman quote comes up. I'm not trapped in here with you, you're trapped in here with me. And Onigiri in this position will need to be watched by one of the 2 remaining players from the Soniqs. 30 seconds to go, and it's Super with Diffuser in hand and Kansan to watch. That is the state of this round. Vault has opened up, so Super looks in this position, but there's a lot of work to be done for the Soniqs. They might be able to pull off and execute. Not a ton of time left to work with. Onigiri still in this position. Kansan's the next one in, same spot, but he engages with multiple angles. Elevate shuts him down, running their own skin on the Commando, and just like that, round 1 on defense for the Thailand team. They'll take round 1.
Yeah, and that's my bad, Napew. Honestly, I said you have a lot of early duels, but you don't seem to win them. He found 2 opening picks, absolute max, and that was Rexen and Yeti off the board. That is a very, very good opening round for Elevate, also showing that aggression, kind of setting the pace for this match to come and for this map that we're on right now, Villa. And Soniqs, if anything, kind of caught on the worst end of the timing there because the drone was coming in through Astro, it checked the staircase, then it turned around to drone further up the map for the entries, and then, well, Nay, he heard the drone most likely, walked on up, didn't really wait a whole lot, he just got the 2 kills, and that's honestly all you really need. He then aggressed further, got traded back by Kansan, could have arguably ran back through Astro, kind of been safe, but if you get 2 for 1 trade, I mean, you can kind of throw your life away after that point because that's pretty well done for you. And now in the second defense, we're working our way over to Trophy Statue instead. Very common bomb site rotation, if you will, and I expect Elevate to, as we see here, extend down below, doing a really good job with that map extension.
I'd like to issue a clarification, all thanks to good old Tommy, aka Thomas_R6, aka Tom Tom, playing on Mirage. Noting that Finka is more of a Rexen ban because of the fact that Grixer likes to play Twitch and does so on Villa. So even though Grixer does play Finka on other maps, I have casted quite a lot of Soniqs this year, so I know for a fact that Finka works itself into the Soniqs lineup quite a lot. In fact, I would honestly argue that Soniqs were a little bit ahead of the curve with how much they were bringing both Finka and Lion on a lot of maps. It's more targeted towards Rexen. That's why he's been playing on this more flex support role that we've seen through these 2 rounds. And I think you can argue as to what Finka's role is on a team. Does she play flex? Does she play more of a supportive role?
Yeah.
Sometimes the main point of the spear when it comes into the building. And I don't mean that as a pun because she's not running the spear. She's running the LMG.
Yep. LMGs. It's a very good point because teams can play Finka very differently. Some teams play her more aggressively on the interest you mentioned. Some play it support because, well, if you die, then your adrenal surges, they go to the grave with you. You don't get to use them. Same story for the Thatcher, same story for the Twitch active gadgets that we get to use. That is 1 Twitch drone off the board from Napew. Not really a huge deal. I believe the Astrocam was sapped away. Breach will come through. Doesn't seem there's a whole lot of wall denier from the side of Elevate. Sure, there is the mute. When Thatcher's on the board and played, you're gonna need a bandit if you want this wall to last, or at the very least, you need a set of impact grenades. Neither is something that Elevate has. You do have Nerix down below. He does have a C4. So, Nerix, if you can find something here with the verticality, that could be a great opening to the round. Soniqs don't seem to know too well that when Nerix is down below. They did have a drone there in the prep phase, but that's a long time ago. You can guess and you can assume, but you won't know for a fact.
Still droning out over towards Aviator. Nobody's been killed just yet. 90 seconds left. That's half of the round in play. Nerix will have that pre-play C4 down below. If somebody from the Soniqs doesn't tread lightly inside of bedroom, then they'll be blown sky high by that explosive. Out goes a bulletproof camera as well. So even though the F2 in the hands of Grixer is a formidable killing machine, that drone from the Twitch also proving its worth. Teams trade blows back and forth now, and the first kill goes to Kansan, but swiftly Yeti is removed. Both teams trading. But Elevate will find the scoreboard more than once, and then again get traded back. It's absolute bedlams. And a total frag fest happening as Elevate gains the upper hand, leaving Kansan with a tiny bit of HP, and Grixer as the final 2 players from the Soniqs. They're stacked up inside a Master, smoking out Nay and moving him in position towards the statue, playing at a close angle. There's a drone right next to him, but it's hard to tell if that's a Mozzie drone or one of the opponents. On a drone, Kansan goes, and it's going to be even tougher for him now. Look at how little HP he has as Grixer falls. Nay is on an absolute rampage. More shots from Nay will come out, and if Kansan doesn't look the right way, he'll get swung from the doorway. Instead, he'll take his time. 30 seconds killed off the clock, 20 seconds remain. There goes the Malusi, and Kansan's attention is towards the doorway, but this should be relatively easy for Elevate. 1 down, but 2 more to go. It is winnable. Every round is. But Kansan knows how tough it can be. His position given away by the Banshee opening up. And there's Nerix from across the bomb site. He's been credited with the final kill in both rounds now, coming in clutch and playing sheltered minutes for his team. Elevate up 2-0.
Really good round for Elevate from beginning to end. They played the early game. They traded off again successfully. They got 2 for the price of 1. And in that 2 versus 3 that we saw towards the last minute of the round, they played very disciplined. And I mean, there was a point where Malusic got a little bit bored, started swinging with a pistol, ended up, almost dying. Smoke got injured and killed. But overall, really good discipline. Kind of a different Elevate from group stage, I would say, where they played extremely brutal against their opponents. It was that 8-7 win against TSM in Oregon, where they were just like playing ranked. It was basement bomb site. There was all 5 players basically up above inside of lobby and armory and whatnot, and they're just brawling, battling, fighting. No objective play was really being had, and Soniqs, they're not really managing to do the same thing either. Sure, the wall got opened up quite early, but that's the only thing you managed to do. It was a direct attack from Master Bedroom. There wasn't a whole lot of split take, if you will. They didn't clear down below. That pre-play C4 from Nerix. They had a yellow ping from the bulletproof. And sure, the value there didn't really strike through, but the guns very much still in favor of Elevate. We're working our way through the bomb sites. AVG, Trophy, and now downstairs in Kitchen. Pulse on the board, as we can expect. C4s to follow up from Ney. That's the mute. And then Onigiri. A little bit of a different pick here with the castle. That's just going to speak again to how Elevate, they're stretching themselves out on this map, extending up this time around by the looks of it, up inside of Statue and Trophy, and they're going to be challenging Soniqs once again.
Well, this bomb site is below Trophy Statuary for a certain amount of real estate. Kitchen down below. Living Room Library is a bomb site that we will likely see the Soniqs play when they go on a defense, but I would be shocked if Elevate bring it as a part of their portfolio.
Oh.
The way that it currently plays, you only... Oh.
That's a normal barricade, but he aced it.
Are you sure it wasn't a castle barricade?
I am now I'm confused. So apparently it was a castle barricade, but I thought from the lighting at least it was green, but no, it was a castle barricade.
I am 100%...
It makes more sense.
You did it in your defense.
I was 99% sure.
No, you were 100% sure. And there is a public record of all the things that you say, and you can and will be dunked on.
Okay, my bad. Super is better. I take it back. Well done clearing out the utility from the castle. Remember, there is no sledge on the board from the side of Soniqs. They have to start investing their utility in the nades. Well, they can grind your kills. With the summer charge, well, that'll just breach open walls. So you gotta make that decision. Which utility do you choose to use? In a perfect world, you would use Kansan's breaching charges if the castle barricades aren't mute jammed, but again, you don't want to waste time rotating around the map, making sure that Sophia's in the right position, the right time for all 4 castle barricades. That's too much trouble and too much work, so the Selma comes out instead.
And that's only one that needs to be used. The Nitro Cell goes off. There hasn't been a ton of success with those explosives for Elevate on the few opportunities that they've had. The rest of Elevate, though, spread around that bomb site and then somewhat off. Nerix's shotgun. Oh, my goodness, of the pulse.
Yep.
You don't see that every day, but these APAC teams, they absolutely adore unconventional lineups for their operators and loadouts as well. The pulse playing with the shotgun is something that is well known about Elevate. They like to run it on Cafe as well. You can go for a hop out, get a couple picks with the M1014, hop right back in. Pulse is a very strong operator. No. There you go. There's another reason for it, is because of the caliber destruction that comes with a shotgun.
Absolutely. It's so fun to watch because we used to see this like 4 or 5 years ago in professional play. Then it was deemed useless and troll, but this time around, I mean, it really is doing the work. Onigiri, another kill on Direction, and with Kansan himself very low as well. When that Scrixer off the board, we are falling by the second.
And Kansan is the same HP that he was in this position with on the previous round. One is not where you want to be. Elevate are swinging because the other option is be swung, and they don't want to do that. So, with only a tiny bit of their HP removed from the entire team, it's Super and Kansan now looking for as many kills as they can get. Hopefully some impactful to keep this one close. Kansan immediately traded out. Onigiri has his teammates back. Super with Diffuser. Might as well be on another map. As with only 15 seconds to go, where is he going to go? Hopping in through that pantry window, up the stairs, there's a small window to the bomb site, and he doesn't know where anybody is. Good patience from Elevate, but they've got bodies to throw at the problem. The problem is Super, 2 big kills, but that's all she wrote. It's a perfect rotation for this in Super, but even then, that doesn't always translate to success. There was an interesting conversation that went on in the green room today before we got into this matchup, and it was a discussion about respect. Respect involving some of the teams here at the event that are not getting the praise and I guess commendation that they deserve. We talk an awful lot about TSM. We talk an awful lot about Space Station and how historically good they are at LANs. TSM obviously the top finishing performer at SI. Last year they finished 4th. We talk about Space Station, former world champions. But the fact is that the Soniqs were the most consistent team in North America this year. The Soniqs are the defending NAL champs. So not even in those 3 stages were the Soniqs the best, but they also closed it out with a victory on their own LAN.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't seem to be the case. And I think a big part of that is the poor performance that the Soniqs have had in both Mexico as well as Sweden, going out in groups despite setting high expectations. And another part of it plays into the fact that the Soniqs are so openly vocal on Twitter. It's really easy to root for a team's downfall when they do sort of play that villain. And Super is perhaps one of the most notable villains, if you want to call him that, in the scene. But the Soniqs have really impressed here at this event. I think they've continuously proven us wrong. They've struggled to close out some games, but there's been signs of brilliance, and they've competed with the best of the best so far, maybe not in the same level of domination. So when they come up against a team like Elevate, a team that is also chronically, I guess you could say, underperforming, but also unexpected and underrated, it is interesting to see the way that the discourse goes around them. If I remember correctly, at the start of this matchup, people said that Elevate was the team to beat. That's what the community vote said. And so far, they're proving them right. Soniqs, if they do want that level of respect, they need to be consistent on LAN. They haven't been up to this point against a team like Elevate. This is a must-win for Soniqs if they want to be in that upper echelon of the teams that we talk about at international events.
I absolutely agree, and well, they might have heard your praise, Parker, because Yeti finds not just 1, he finds 2. That is Nerix and Onigiri both off the board. Again, that's the Wamai, that's the Mute, and more importantly, Soniqs for the first time actually has the first half of the round in their favor. They've done the hard job of now finding 2 picks. Now we gotta convert those opening kills into a round victory. That is something that the Soniqs, they can do well sometimes, if anything, but this time around, they'll really have to try and do it. Because if not, it's 4-0. Sure, it's Villa defense, but you want to make sure you get as many rounds as possible before the side swap comes through.
Ooh, that's a nasty shot from DCH on the Grixer. And Grixer had a sixth sense about it. He knew it was coming. He was surveying the window, but just because you know it's there doesn't mean you can stop it. A lot of times, you see that train barreling down on you, and just because you know it's there, you're probably not going to be able to get out of the way in time. So even though the Soniqs get this opening pick, what is their conversion? This was something that the Soniqs struggled on a lot in the group stages. They get the first pick, they even get the plant down, but then they don't win the round. That mid-round to late-round conversion is the biggest issue for the Soniqs. This round will be a test. They start off strong, they have an advantage. Do they hold on to it and finally win a round?
On average, Soniqs' rate is actually 68% round conversion from the opening kill. That's extremely average. The one thing that Soniqs do good is that they do get 57% of the rounds the opening kill, which is top 2.
Yeah, so the fact that they're able to consistently get that first pick, but then they only convert it 2/3 of the time, not great, especially when the stat that we always reference in terms of opening pick is about 80%. So they are trailing what is considered to be average to good. That said, look at this. They got those first 2 picks. They'll manage to isolate one player, but then Yeti gets dropped as he hucks a nade on in. DCH goes down as Rexon tears on through. 2 players up right from Elevate. Smoke's going out. Super on the diffuser, and it is a successful plant. That's Nay now on the flank. Tons of damage done to Super, and there's a blind spot to be exploited. It's a 2v2. Make that a 2v1 now. Kansan's the only member upright. Elevate sweeping right back through. And the shotgun is there. No, they pull it off. What did we talk about when it comes to conversion, Nick? The Soniqs get the opening pick. They get the first 2 picks. They get the diffuser planted, but they don't get the round just like that. They get their kills. They have tons of time. You might as well pad your stats. They don't let Yeti bleed out. And it's Elevate up 4-0.
So, just for conversation's sake, Elevate actually has the highest opening kill conversion on the attacking side. Not the defending side where they are now, even though they've gotten all 4 rounds, but on the attacking side, Elevate, when they get the opening kill, they have an 84% chance of winning the round on their attack. That's extremely high. The average is about 65, so almost 20% higher than the average here at SI.
What did you say the Sonics was, 68?
68.
So the Sonics are about average, as you pointed out, literally, like right on the average. And I know that to a lot of people, the difference between 68 and 80% doesn't seem like a lot, but that might be enough for 1 or 2 rounds on each half. That can be huge.
Yep. And I mean, sure, there's opening kill on attack, and there's opening kill on defense. They play a bit differently, so you can look at average stats, you can look at only attacker or only defender sided. But the point is simple. When you get the opening kill and you play that 5 versus 4 in your favor, you need to be able to close out the round, because what it means if you can't is that, sure, you can find the first pick, but then you cannot pull all the way through. And when you have the man advantage, your numbers go up automatically. And one of the earliest telltale signs of teams failing this is that they're giving up bodies for free. Let's say you're playing 5 versus 4 and you're trading 1 for 1. Well, that's 4-3. 1 for 1, that's 3-2. And you know, ultimately it'll be 1 against 0, you win the round. If you can successfully manage to continuously trade bodies once you have established the advantage, you will win the round. So if you can find the opening pick, but you cannot find the round, it speaks to isolation of players and failing to play off each other and ensure to really keep on that advantage. So some teams here, they'll get the opening pick and get the round, some they will not, and some they won't get either. But what you need to be practicing is just playing together. And when you see Soniqs playing 4 or 5 players on the same side of the map, you would expect them to get each other's back. But no cover for Super. He gets taken off the board. Not the only hard breach, but the most important.
And has been the main hard breach for his team, Nick. That is not ideal. Good news is that Yeti holds on to the diffuser, and he was involved in the first skirmish in the previous round. Yeti got 2 picks. Didn't end up mattering. This time, again, Elevate goes back to something they know very well. A 5v4. They have the opening pick in 4 of these 5 rounds. Yeti almost gets team killed there, by the way. And look at how much damage that gun does. Half
that's
HP
1 bullet.
From 1 bullet. That is correct. Another trophy statuary defense. Elevate now with the Nitro Cell. And there goes Yeti, beautifully tossed out, and it connects. This is dire for the Sonics. They have lost both of their hard breach.
Yep.
Where do you go on a bomb site like Trophy Statuary? Now you're very limited. If you're not going to spread out, you're going to have to take Astro and go from there, and there's only single doorways and a potential single rotate hole in a wall that allows you access.
You go next. It's very simple.
Where do you go?
You go next. Like, this round is over on paper. Sure, Soniqs can clutch up. Grixer doing a really good rotation here to 90. That's what I want to see from Soniqs. Not at 5 players on the same side of the map, but when you've lost both hard breachers, when you've lost 2 players, when you're down 0-4 in round count, it's a little bit late. And now, Grixer, you really gotta show up. You are the second highest performer at this entire event, and right now, you're going 1-4 against Elevate.
Oh!
Nice.
Nirix makes Kansan see the inside of his own thoughts with that one. You spoke ill of Grixer, Nick, and there he is to pick up 1 kill. 1 minute to go with him and Rexon as the 2. But Rexon gets out-dueled. Nirix is on fire right now. He's killing everybody in the server. So Grixer, with all of his might, has to do more of that work. 2 kills for him. He's stat padding 3 kills for Grixer. All of a sudden, the Sonics are in this because of that Twitch. But it's going to have to be a kill fest. Diffuser is down. And case control for Elevate is all that matters. There's a shotgun pointed at the wall. Grixer goes to walk in. It's a single swing, and he looks the wrong way. The Banshee distracts him. We call that siege timing, folks, because of exactly what you just saw. 2 rounds after the Sonics took their time out, they don't have anything to show for it. Elevate are putting on a clinic, and they're up 5-0.
I was saying, oh no, not because I don't want Grixer to win a round, but because Elevate and APAC as a region, they have this really bad habit that when they're in the lead, they get really cocky and overconfident. When you're up 4-0 in a 1 versus 4, I mean, you saw it. They're just swinging, running around, unnecessarily moving, and what could have been very quickly 1 versus 1 that could have gone either way, well, they got closed out in the 2v1 due to siege timing, a Banshee giving off a sound cue, and of course, Grixer choosing to look away at the wrong moment. Now we see 6 picks coming out. We go from Speed to Castle on the side of Onigiri, and Grixer goes from Sledge to Nuke. I love this. This kind of speaks to the playstyle that Yeti really does well on Coastline for Soniqs, lurking around the map.
Oh, they trade out the Twitch over to Rexon as well. This target ban towards the Sonics might have been one of the best things that Elevate could have done. Without the Finka, this attack from Sonics has been sputtering. It is not good at all. They look at the kills on the team right now. I mean, the thing that's going to pop out the most is Grixer's 4 and 5, but He was 1-4 previously.
Yeah.
He picked up 3 kills in the last round, but they were completely meaningless. This is one thing that we talk about, and is a perfect teaching moment for a lot of you that are watching. You're going to look at it and say, well, at least Grixer showed up, which, based on the numbers, might be the thing to see if you don't know the context behind it. But
Yep.
those were unimpactful kills. They did not help the team at all. Grixer getting 3 desperation kills in a losing effort might as well be 0, frankly. There's really no difference between Grixer getting those 3 kills with the timer where it was and the case where it was between a flawless round. So even though it's a valiant effort by Grixer, those kills don't really matter. So it's just stat padding at this point, which is why it sometimes needs a deeper look than just a basic number. Oh, somebody went 12-4. Yeah, but if 3 of those rounds are 1v4s and you kill 3 of them, you lose all those rounds, you get 9 kills in losing efforts, not as impactful.
So true. And it's something that, yeah, very important that we gotta look at. And also, I mean, it's not just Grixer. Elevate, almost every single round they've had like a substantial man count advantage. They've been running 1 or 2 bodies into the ground onto the side of Sonic. So half the kills here are basically impactless, as you mentioned. And I will say, opening round, Soniqs, they haven't died yet. They survived the early C4. They've made their way onto the balcony, and Grixer is making his way through Red Hallway on the first floor. Good timing. We're going to be sitting out, waiting for that gadget to recharge. Want to make sure that nobody has information. Nerix has the pulse. Once you get too close to the side, you surely will be seen with that heartbeat scanner. But that's also why Grixer is not approaching the side directly, but from the flank. Gets some damage through, does not find the kill, and now his position has been revealed. That's not good.
That's a Nook that has now been visible. Down goes Nay, and Grixer manages to catch DCH. All right, a much better effort for Soniqs on this round. Half of it gone, and you've picked up 2 players. But this was the same position that the Soniqs were in before. Difference is that it wasn't now a 5v2. The best round from Soniqs. They had to throw out the script and completely change up their composition, and it comes at a time when you still don't have that timeout. You've already used it. Now, you can manage to win one round, go on a defense on Villa. That will help you, presumably, but you've already given up so much ground.
That you have, and I mean, Elevate, they're gonna have the mental advantage. We all know what that means when you're from APAC. It can be very hard to shut down their aggression and their confidence. And sure, I mean, this round, Grixer specifically did a really good job, 2 opening kills, and now Grixer, with a triple kill of his own, looks to walk through side. Sapper says no to Yeti, finds 1 kill, but Sapper, you're also low on health with people coming from all angles at once. You're even gonna get Sophia concussed at the same time, and you really can't do much. 4K for Grixer, and that right there are impactful kills versus the last round of being impactless.
Absolutely, and that's the whole purpose of why you run a Nook. On a map like Villa, you have a great entry point. If you don't think there's going to be a pulse down below in the catacombs in the basement, then you can very easily enter from the bottom floor, head up one of the staircases. You're not going to make any noise. There's only a couple cameras that are going to be in those positions, and it's a moot point because you're invisible to them when your gadget is going. So why not take that operator? I like that from the Soniqs, but it comes so late. They pick up a single round. 4-2 is the scoreline that we see on maps that have a distinct advantage on either attack or defense. If you've got a closely matched group of players, group of teams, and you've got a very closely matched map, aka they match up very well on that actual map, they have the same map pool, then a 3-3 half is totally normal. But here on Villa, Elevate going up 5-1 puts them in excellent position for this half. They still have their timeout. There isn't a ton of confidence or motivation mentally on the side of Soniqs. And as you pointed out, these APAC teams, they are very hard to knock off their game when they are mentally rolling. And right now, you absolutely look at the Elevate players and the way that they're playing, and there's a ton of confidence on their side. The only thing that you have to caution them on is getting a little bit too cute. Because if you roam a little bit too much, you start taking too many gambles, you start playing too many unique operators, go for spawn peaks, play loose and detached, think, you know what, I can beat just about anybody. Yeah. Not the case. There's too many foes on the Soniqs that are very credible threats, and if you give the Soniqs an inch, they're going to start making you pay for it.
Certainly, and Elevate, they haven't played Villa at this event. Soniqs are not going to have the greatest idea of what to expect, really. On this first round of operator picks, we actually saw Nay, I believe them, Nay 6-picked from the Ying onto the Ashe, and they were showing that Dokkaebi on Nerix. So Soniqs, they might have a slight idea what chaos might be unfolding, but in fact, the game has been changed up. Really good early aggressive entry from Elevate, Drone, and Ashe behind them, kind of like Liquid and Nest did back in the day, but this Banshee will stop you in your tracks. Also Rexen, good job extending out, denying the early drone. Astro pose support on top of that too. With this wall being reinforced, the angle onto him will be denied. And Elevate have to kind of respect this position and slow it down a bit. Nice clear on the Banshee. That was the window rappel player activating the gadget, not Nate on the staircase. So Rexon might not know there are indeed 2 players here, but in fact, there are. He has support of his own, but that is Rexon to fall. Nerix holding that boar window from the 90 repel. That's a very, very passive angle, but oh boy, does it pay off in their favor. And now, that means you can walk on in if you're Nerix with that Dokkaebi, and you can hack this phone from Rexon. That's going to give you even more value than just an opening kill. You'll hack every single cam, but Yeti answers back. Onigiri off the board, Ayana. Not the biggest loss on this round, but still, even spec the man count to 4-4. Something to note, there are 2 bulletproof cameras from Soniqs, so with this hack, crazy value.
And there you go, and there's the hack that comes in now. So you can see clear as day, they've got control of the cam, and it's gone. So now you have to destroy that utility from the Soniqs.
Yeah,
you specifically run these operators so that you can have a bulletproof camera. Valkyrie is banned. If you don't bring the bulletproof, the only other thing for direct intel that you're going to want is a Maestro on the board, but that's not really an operator that the Soniqs play on this map. So you bring the bulletproof cameras, 2 of them, now they're completely useless.
Yeah.
They're actually worse than useless because they can be used against you. The Soniqs very rightly take care of them. That's a very damning blow. So that leaves Elevate in a position where they're now at even numbers. They've lost Onigiri, as we talked about. They've got 1 minute to go. Last logic bomb is gone as well. So for Nerix, all he's got access to are those flashbangs. And he can toss them on into the bomb site. The ADSs will still persist, even if Rexon is not in play. But Elevate need to scramble. 30 seconds, that's what they're working with. Doesn't look like they've opened anything up on the study side because Yeti is still in possession of that room, playing at the top of the stairs. He gets called into action from the barbed wire being broken at the bottom. That's Nay's advance to go on up. Smoke in front of Sapper will slow him down, and Elevator's struggling as to where they want to go with this. If they walk in and start frying, then the Soniqs need to answer back. But at the moment, this is a better round for the Soniqs than many we've seen so far. Elevate, you've got 5 seconds to go. Where are you? There goes Kansan. You need to get the diffuser down. You're wasting time. Sapper is in. Super saves the round. What an incredible performance, despite the fact that only 2 players for up from the Soniqs. That is Elevate beating themselves in that round. And despite such a strong start, the conversion is not there, and the Soniqs take their 2nd round in a row.
Super really holding on. He didn't do much, but it was honest work. He hit on that bar until the right moment, then swung around, saw that the player pushed from Elevate, took him out. That was the diffuser on the ground. Time hit 0. You win. Good job for you. Yeti held top main the entirety of that round. Very well done as well. They had a little bit of map control, but they had just enough. Elevate running down the clock, not progressing fast enough. And well, when you get that massive value of the opening kill with the Dokkaebi, you're really gonna feel a little bit bad about that. Nerix, he brings it again, and Soniqs. Fun fact, also for you viewers at home, when you play defense and there's a Dokkaebi on the attacking side, when you die, you actually drop a physical small phone on the ground. So, if you're roaming in duos of 2, you can then, if somebody dies, the other person can kill the drone, or kill the phone rather, and therefore you cannot hack them anymore. You can throw an impact, throw a C4, you can melee it, you can shoot it. It's a small object on the ground. It's a lot easier to find nowadays with the dead bodies are disappearing rather than staying. But basically, if you're roaming alone, you're in for a bad time. If you're roaming together, well, you can kind of reduce the damage that you get, that can be done to you. And there we see 1 bulletproof from Grixer. So if the hack goes through, you will once again lose a little bit of utility.
It's actually a surprising amount of players don't know this.
Yeah.
So if you play Dokkaebi, you need to make sure that you're getting to the body quick enough because yes, you as a defender can shoot the phone. Also, fun fact, if one of your teammates dies early on, if you team kill them and a phone drops, you know they have a Dokkaebi. Not that I'm advocating for you. Not that I'm advocating for you to team kill by any stretch of the imagination. That's not allowed.
That's a fun fact.
But if they drop a phone, you know there's a Dokkaebi in play. So maybe
just like you can see the lion drone in the sky, right, you know, basically in the prep phase when the enemy attackers are droning, you can see if lions being played because the, you know, the gadget will be in the air. So there's a couple of interesting, you know, mechanics interactions, if you will, from certain or multiple operators, and it's something that, does it really matter? Not really. But when you want to get into that nitty-gritty, it's nice to know, it's useful, and in this case, at the highest level of play, of course you'd expect that everybody knows everything, but let me tell you, not every single player knows the same things, nor do they play the game the same way. We all have content pros. Some people are more mechanically talented. Some people are more brainiacs, such as Super, Geek IQ, average gunplay. Some would argue less than average gunplay. Grixer, probably the opposite. Maybe not the smartest, but extremely talented on that gunplay and mechanical skill. Now, I don't know for sure, so don't take that for a fact, but my point is, everybody's a little bit different.
Absolutely correct. Elevate had that round in the palm of their hands, and then they loosened their grip on it, and the Soniqs, despite losing most of their own players, are still able to hang on. That was Elevate beating themselves. Again,
Yeah.
both of these teams now struggling with conversion to some extent. Soniqs still the team that historically has failed to close out a lot of these rounds, but if Elevate gets themselves in another position or two where they get the early pick, they have map control, and they ultimately fall short in the round, then we have to level the same thing against them as we have the Soniqs.
Yeti playing down below. Well, it is close to bomb site. It's bomb site. I'm sorry, it is down below. Bomb site is in trophy, excuse me. That means that Yeti's doing what he does best. He is playing one floor away from the bomb site on the defending side. That's kind of where he finds a ton of success, but the droning from Elevate has been quite good. The timing, however, has not been as. And Yeti not just burns down the clock, he also gets a kill onto Napew. That's Diana once again off the board.
Both of these teams struggling with that early aggression and the roam as well. And the shotgun of Super is a little bit too long range. Elevate very swiftly take it back. They've now traded with Kansan picking up one kill for his team. Yeti's still down below. Sapper getting the diffuser off. Nitro Cell goes out. It's nowhere near close, and the logic bomb will alert the remaining players of Elevate where the Soniqs are from. Diffuser down, so clock working in their favor. The two final players from the Soniqs will need to retake. Everybody on Elevate has taken some damage, but there goes Grixer, and Kansan's the only one to save it. He's got 2 kills for his team, Yeti has the other, but he's not here. There's the last logic bomb. Perfectly timed. Flash is still available for Nerix as well, so if you want to blind Kansan, just even buy some time, you can do that. And he's running out of that time that we talked about. He has no intel. Elevate playing keep away. The clock getting closer and closer to the point of no return, and with 1 second to spare, Kansan is on it. He pops off. That's the clock, and that's the kill. Elevate sit on match point.
What a discipline. I am impressed and I am surprised because I did not expect this. They push the aggressive button when they have to. Elevate did a really good job. When Yeti was found down below, they pushed to the bomb site. They had a brief moment of advantage, traded back to even ground 3-3, got down that diffuser because Soniqs, they didn't have much bomb deny. C4 came out, it went kind of wide, it didn't find any damage, or at least didn't find the kill onto the planter, and that's what they needed because post-plant is so difficult, but it only is difficult if the attackers can play the post-plant amazingly or perfectly. That's what Elevate did. They wailed one person of ace, pushed into a trophy, got the map control. He got taken down, they traded. That leaves you in a 1v2, but the last 2 players from Elevate were sitting all the way back. 1 deep in Astro, 1 deep inside of Master, and he just waited for that time to take down. Even a logic bomb came out from Dokkaebi, so they knew the whereabouts of that last Soniqs player, and I mean that seals the deal. We now got the same bomb site rotation, but kind of in a different term of success, right? ABG, Trophy, Kitchen. Elevate, they found the first 3 defensive sides as well as the first 3 opening kills. On the side of Soniqs, they've gotten 1 opening kill and they've lost 1 opening kill, and they've only managed to find 1 round so far. Match point for Elevate. And they want to show if they can break all 3 bomb sites, or at the very least, break 2 of them. They got a lot of rounds to go. And Elevate, well, you can make mistakes.
The thing that's really dire is the Soniqs don't have a timeout.
They don't.
They don't.
You gotta just go for it.
Taken all the way back at the tail end of round number 3, the Soniqs burned the only opportunity they would have to keep themselves somewhat composed after a series of bad losses. And I will say that this map in particular is a series of bad losses. Elevate on a map that they have not played at this event, up against a Soniqs team that picked Villa for a reason, and a very good reason. Say what you will about Soniqs in the actual server. Behind the scenes, you are hard-pressed to find two individuals who are more knowledgeable and more prepared of their opponents than Super and Joe. But the thing is it doesn't matter, because Elevate, despite the fact that people are sleeping on them, and there's not a lot of information about this team, this is their first big international event, they are performing mighty, mighty good. And this Elevate team, this is not going to be the first North American team that they've beaten either. They've yet to lose to an NA squad here at the event. It sounds like the first logic bomb goes off, and the Soniqs will fall back. 1 minute down, Rexon and Yeti in the basement on a deep roam. If you're Elevate, isolate them. Try to find where they are and get a pick off of it. There's no conventional anti-flank operator on Elevate's side of things, so somebody's going to have to do that job on their own.
They didn't just beat the North American teams, they 2-0 Dark Zero 7-4-8-7, they 2-0 TSM 7-5-8-7 as well. So OT, they can play it, and Soniqs, they want to go there. Kansen finds Onigiri. He's been the first to fall from Elevate quite some time now, and that is the stat we spoke about earlier. Onigiri and Napiu, they get into a lot of duels, and they tend to lose them quite often, and right now, that's showing.
Well, that was inside a Memorial, and now in goes the Twitch drone to clear out some utility, as Nierix will follow up on what intel he has. The recoil of the SMG-12 soars high above the panel, and he'll sit on the stairs to wait. That deep roam from the Soniqs has pushed Yeti up to the top floor. The other player that we were looking at in terms of this play, Rexon, we don't know where he is. Where is he on the map? He's inside of the bomb site now. Super spotted out, now droned in over by Laundry. There's still some Kona stations up. Yeti is down. He's been spotted by the Dokkaebi. Super goes as well. Grixer with one. Kansen's been dropped. This is a bad position to be in for the Soniqs, knowing that they are just a couple deaths away from defeat on their map. Elevate have time to work with, but DCH is looking the wrong way, and Rexon says, why not? I'll take that one. Grixer on half HP. Kansen still unrecoverable. Elevate pushing up through Memorial. They managed to isolate the last two players in the back of the bomb site, make that player as it's Grixer, and he gets the Kona station to heal him back along with a kill. It's all on the shoulders of Nay, who's down below, very far from the action. He'll head up the stairs. He's got a lot of work to be done. Diffuser held. Grixer getting back to the site. Nay is now in the midst of it with that diffuser in hand. He'll go for the plant. Grixer waiting for the call. And there's the push up. 7 seconds to go. No opportunity for a fake here. Grixer playing off of it. 1 second left, but he doesn't know where it is. He finds him at the last second. And Grixer has been spectacular for this team for a couple of rounds. And if the Soniqs are going to go to overtime, they need more rounds like that from him.
That's going to give you some good mental. You found that round, and you know, it went back and forth, and it shouldn't have been as close as it was from the side of Soniqs, but Grixer manages to secure it. 6-3. I will say, Nay could have started faking out that plan significantly earlier than he did. It looked like he was kind of face into the furniture, couldn't actually get the prompt, had to step a bit back, but it took him 2 seconds or so to really figure it out, and you saw there at the time, it punished him because the timer hit 0. Grixer played around it correctly. He waited at that reinforced wall, waited so that, you know, the opposing player couldn't get off it, and then just swing, get the fast kill. Well done for Grixer. But yeah, Elevate, you gotta start playing the clock a little bit faster. When they get aggressive, they really get fast, but they do have this moment of kind of waiting around. I'm curious if that's intentional because you have the Dokkaebi. Of course, if you get the pick, you get the phone, and then you get that huge advantage. But maybe it's time to start considering just go fast and then continue going fast. You got the kills, you got the players for it. Sapper, 11 kills. Nerix, 10 of his own. Onigiri actually getting onto IQ of all operators. Very interesting. You got the Dokkaebi, that means that if you get an opening kill, you hack the phones, you see where the cameras are, all the information. Now you got the IQ as well. Maybe this speaks to some verticality. It is possible. Kitchen is locked. That means that if Soniqs were to go down below, it would have to be library, which is less common, but it is indeed AVG. Couple of options for Elevate. We'll see what they choose to do.
We have seen Library and Living Room pop up a couple times here at the event on Villa, but middling success as far as I can recall. That's just based off of the eyesight test. You'd have to count the actual bomb stats for these teams, and of course, team being the key word here. Soniqs have only played 10 rounds on Villa against Sandbox. We'd like to remind you that despite the score at the top of your screen, Elevate have not played this map here at the Six Invitational. But guess what? It doesn't really seem to matter that much. They rode high on defense and now on attack. Again, those 2 rounds that the Soniqs won was Elevate in a lot of ways beating itself. And I know Soniqs fans might not like hearing that, but on rounds 7 and 9, it wasn't so much superiority from the Soniqs, but an inadequacy on the attack from Elevate. They are struggling to find their footing in the final 30 seconds. And conversion rates for teams after they get the opening pick has been a focal point, and it will continue to be so. Grixer sees the real Yana. That is not a Gemini. How do you win that fight? Nay with a drop shot on the Grixer. The best player from the Soniqs is now out of action. All it took was a single logic bomb, yet he's gone now too. The Soniqs in tough position. They'll have to spend half of the round in a 3v5.
As we slow down right now, I think Elevate are gonna take a breather. They got time for once here, and they got 2 opening picks. I got the statistics. Villa has a 52% overall defensive win rate. Living Library has been played 11 times. It has a 9% win rate. Absolutely horrendous. Nerix, however, is absolutely clean. That's smoke off the board and super as well, leaving Rexen and Kensen in a 2 versus 5 to keep their team alive.
That means that of the 11 times it's been played, it's been won by the defense a single time. 10 rounds for the attackers on Living Room Library. Not exactly a great bomb site. When I said middling success, I guess I was technically
wrong.
I guess I was technically correct. So, we've now got that breather that you talked about. The final minute. The Soniqs have only 2 players upright, but both Sapper and Nay are so low on HP that this could very quickly swing into a 2v3 for the Soniqs. Rexen is keen to take that engagement, but he doesn't see that Nay is at the top of the stairs, and it's all left on Kansan. How about a flawless stamp on map 1? A shocker, to be sure. Elevate comes in, and again, they best expectations. 7-3. Here they go. And just like that, Elevate take map 1 quickly and set themselves up for